Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, another update on the WarbossTae Painting Challenge. Day 2, and there is a link in the description below to the WarbossTae channel. If you haven't checked it out already, please do so. And yeah, this is my task to paint my 2000 point Dark Eldar army in 31 days. So what have I been doing on day 2? Well, I've gone in and I've been doing some dry brushing. As you probably previously saw, I put my army onto 4 separate boards to sort of break them down into bite-sized chunks, and that's been really helping me, to be fair, because rather than having the whole army in front of me, I'm just bringing down one board, and then I'm concentrating on painting just that single board. So I first of all started off just on the left here with my warriors. So I went in and started doing the initial dry brush. Troll Slayer Orange was the colour of choice, and just went in and just dry brushed the whole miniature with that. Of course my plan eventually is to do those orange armoured plates, and then I'm going to wash the whole thing with an orange wash, and that will be my base for the army. That took me about 2.5 hours to dry brush those. And then I moved on to the second board, which was this one here, which I've got the witches and the Hellions on. So in total there were 75 models. Now the second board took me 2 hours to dry brush. It was slightly quicker, and I think the reason for that was they didn't have guns covering their chests, so it was a bit easier to get into them. So 4.5 hours in total. And if you break that down, 75 miniatures, it's about 3.5 minutes a miniature, which is probably about right just for basic dry brushing. Now, even though I was only dry brushing, I was still very careful with it, because one thing that I want to try to avoid is I want to try to avoid the armour looking like rust. I want it to have like a browny, slight rust look, but I don't want it just to look like rusty armour. So what I had to make sure I didn't do was have the orange dry brush too bright, because if I'd had real orange highlights on some of the raised areas, when I wash it, that would just make it look really rusty more than brown. So that's what I basically did. So let's just zoom in and show you a couple of these models a little bit closer. So reposition the camera. Alright, let's start off with one of these Hellions. Get it into camera. Alright, there you go. So that's a Hellion, and I've literally just dry brushed the whole thing, even the skin. My ethos is basically that I'm going to dry brush absolutely everything on all of these models, just show you which one I'm talking. Yeah, to dry brush everything on these models, and then, because obviously I'm basically speed painting these things, so if at the end there's anything that I don't have time to paint, let's just say for example I don't have time to paint the tabards that are all down on there, like the cloth tabards, well, rather than just leaving them black and then not knowing what to do with them in the future, and then at least I have the option just to leave them in this original base colour. So for me it seemed to make sense just to dry brush absolutely everything, so at least then literally absolutely everything is going to be painted. To show you the other board, so this is one of the warriors, this is a newer warrior there, and then to show you one of the older ones, Some of the colours I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to paint them, for example like the hair pieces and stuff. At the moment I just want to get all of those dry brushes done, get the orange laid down as much as possible. I've decided I'm going to paint the weapons, as in the close combat weapons and the blades on some of the guns with that bone colour. I don't think I'm going to paint the actual guns bone colour now, like I originally was going to, and that's because a lot of the guns are quite difficult to get to. But I'm not even thinking about that at this moment in time. I just need to get this dry brush down, and I have 2 more boards, one with all the vehicles on and then the other ones with the scourges and the grotesques on. So still a lot of work to go before I'm even ready to do the next stage. But that is what I've done. I'm pretty happy with that for day 2. Right, day 2's question. What is your favourite miniature from the last year that you painted? Why is it your favourite? And show it off. Okay, so let's do that. So this is probably my favourite mini. This is my Rune Priest. I actually painted 2 Rune Priests together, but I picked this one out as my favourite because, well, I like the fact that he looks like a Klingon. Yeah, I painted him obviously with that dark skin there, and I'm really happy with this guy. I think he's come out really nicely. Obviously part of my Space Wolves army that I'm putting the most amount of effort that I can into them. I've got the sort of freehand lightning effects on his axe. This isn't the original axe, that's a converted axe there as well. Freehand shoulder pads. You know, I really went to town on this guy. It took me about 15 hours to paint him. Now if you consider that one of these guys here, or girls, is going to probably take me about 15 minutes to paint. Bit of a contrast, but that's why I'm really enjoying this challenge, because this challenge of painting this army in 31 days is totally different from how I normally paint. So yeah, it's all good fun. So that is it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed the update. Watch out for tomorrow's video, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.